You're listening to the Flow Friday Sports Show. North Central Netball time with the association president, Kylie Walsh. We're into finals territory. Kylie, how are you? You must be excited by it.
Yeah, I certainly am, Alice. It was true finals weather, overcast in the morning and sun out by the afternoon. But thank you to Burton Watson Netball Club for hosting last weekend. It was they did a wonderful job. We appreciate what they did.
All right, well, we had Donald and Wedderburn Reddybacks going at it in the under 14 division for the B grade, and it ended up being Donald winning this 23-3 over the Redbacks. So a very comprehensive win for the 14B Donald side, Kylie.
Yeah, it was. And look, they both had an early start in the morning, an 8 a.m. game. But Wedderburn, they only had a squad of 7, so they had a bit of pressure from the start not to have any injuries. But probably the first quarter was the most competitive for our youngest in the competition. It was 7-2 at quarter time. But from then onwards, Donald took over the game and certainly benefited from their substantial height advantage in some of the positions. But Wedderburn kept trying throughout the whole game, and it was good to see their skills. But Donald were just too strong and progressed to the prelim finals with that 23-3 win over Wedderburn, like you said, Alice.
To the under 14A's side of things, Sea Lake Nandali, they beat St Arnaud 27-11. How did that game wrap up, and what were your takeaways from it?
Sea Lake Nandali Tigers were too strong, but they'd been the more dominant team throughout the season, each of their meetings. But however, round 16, they only won by a goal over St Arnaud. So it was going to be a great meeting between the two. And it was a tight contest across the court for both teams. But both teams really worked hard for that advantage. But Tigers went into the half-time break with a 3-goal lead over the Saints. And both coaches were very confident with their starting 7. So they just let them play out the game. The Tigers, Roy O'Sullivan, really stepped up to the next level and began dominating the links down the court and into the ring. And that gave challenged Saints key defender Chloe Stones a lot. But Tigers' defence worked tirelessly, shutting down the Saints and limiting their goal opportunities. But, the Tigers were too strong in this final, defeating the Saints 27-11.
To the under 17 A grade, St Arnaud getting up over Witchy Narraport 35-24. Sounds like that was a good game.
Yeah, it really was, Alice. And despite St Arnaud, they gained the win every time they met. But the Demons had found their straps the back half of the game, the season, and they just snuck into the 4 towards the last few rounds. So they were sort of gaining their momentum and their confidence in the back half of the season, and they really brought that to the game for the first start. And post that first quarter, it sort of allowed St Arnaud to reassess their thoughts and their game plan, and then Saints goalers Chloe Needs and Millie Hando, they really found their base in the circle, and that allowed their mid-court delivery into the ball more successfully and rightly rewarded with goals. But the Demons made some changes in attempt to break St Arnaud's rhythm and pull the score line back into reach. But however, St Arnaud kept to their processes and capitalised on turnovers, and they were rewarded with that 11-goal win over Witchproof Narraport 35-24, and they progressed to the prelim final.
One of the two thrillers that played out on the weekend was in the Senior C reserves between Witchy Narraport and Birchip Watcham. We did have a very close game in the Senior Bs too, which we'll get to, but just one goal separating Witchy Narraport and Birchip Watcham, Kylie, on that occasion.
Yeah, and I was really looking forward to this game because their round 17 meeting, there was only a 3-goal buffer between the two, so it really led up to the finals. It was going to be a great game, and the crowd really built for this game, and it sort of felt like that finals pressure as well. And it was the proof in the pudding. They were a draw the first break, and Witchproof Narraport really settled into the second quarter a lot better than the Bulls, and then the Bulls started using their rolling subs midway through the court, and through defence, trying to reduce that deficit and stay within the game. However, at half-time changes, the Bulls made some really key changes that pulled them back into the game and capitalised on turnovers, and it was very, very effective. The crowd drew into the game, and it created a really grand final atmosphere for the players and umpires, and towards the end of the game, it felt like we were going to go into our first extra time in the finals, and the Bulls gained the ball in the dwindling seconds, and just prior to the whistle, Bulls youngster Bo Haslam shot the goal, and that resulted in a 1-goal win over the Demons, 40-39. But the crowd was so loud, the players actually didn't know the whistle was blown for full time, so they were all running back to reset for the centre, and the officials had to let them know the game had actually finished. So it was a wonderful game and great atmosphere.
That is a real finals-like atmosphere. It's great to hear it too. Over to the senior C grades, and we had Sea Lake Nandali competing with Birchip Watcham on this occasion. 32-50 in favour of Sea Lake Nandali. They've been flying all season long in the senior C grade.
Yeah, they were, and they did for this game. Bulls always had a big challenge in front of them, and it was whoever was going to be the most dominant on the day, but Bulls were on the chase right from the first whistle, and that's where the game continued from there. Else, like Tigers, Natalie Hickey, she was unstoppable in the ring, and despite these tireless efforts from the Bulls' defence, the Tigers just grew in confidence throughout the game, and whatever the Bulls tried, they varied combinations that just didn't appear to slow down the Tigers squad, and Tigers just finished with a confident game, 50-32 win over the Bulls.
To the senior B grade, a thriller there between Nullarbor and Donald, wasn't it? Just 2 goals separating them. Must have been heart-stopping stuff. 36-34 though, Nullarbor, too good.
Yeah, and look, it could have gone either way between these two teams, the way it's met throughout the year. And it was going to be a tough and physical game with every contest, and there was no easy passages of play from Donald or Nullarbor. But Donald, however, they seemed to find some slight moments where they capitalised in any turnover and gained a slight edge. But Nullarbor altered their defence, and that's assisted in pulling back the scoreline. Unfortunately for Donald, they had a fall from key goaler Sarah McDonald, and that stopped the game for a moment, and I believe she's broken her arm subsequently, which is a shame, and that break in time allowed Nullarbor to regroup and enough to step in and take advantage of Donald's disruption of their mindset and their processes, and the final few minutes were exciting, and the time between the timers and goals was key. However, Nullarbor were able to hold their composure and just take out that 2-goal win over Donald, 36-34, but it was a really great game despite the injury to Sarah.
Does happen a lot of the time, doesn't it? It does go that way.
Yeah.
All the best to her, though. Hopefully she can recover and get back to her best as quickly as possible. Looking at the A grades, and not quite as close of a game. Charlton beating Nullarbor 49-25, Kylie.
Yeah, absolutely. And Charlton really had that nothing to lose attitude with this game, because their challenges had been throughout the back end of the season trying to get into the top 4. So I guess they thought, well, the last probably 5 or 6 weeks they've been playing first semi for that matter of time. So every game's been on the line for them, and it just depended on who was going to rise to the occasion. But the pace and the delivery of the ball was superb, and the players were attacking the ball at every chance. But Charlton really took the game by the horns and connected down the court so smoothly, and Nullarbor really looked uncharacteristically flustered through moments of the game, and tried to look for answers through rolling subs and shuffling players throughout the court, nearly like a chessboard when you watch them, what they were doing. But the height advantage of Kylie Walsh and posed some difficulties for Nullarbor's defenders. And then when they were able to limit Chloe's access to the ball, fellow goalie Claudia Lee, she didn't seem to be phased and found her rhythm and accuracy to the goal. So despite maximum effort for Nullarbor, they just didn't have the answers for Charlton, and it's probably the first time in a final I've actually witnessed Nullarbor look bewildered. But as Charlton's done for the back half of the season, they've just gone from strength to strength, and were rewarded by defeating Nullarbor 49-25. It was just a great game.
Really loving your extensive commentary on how these games all wrapped up, Kylie, by the way. Let's get a quick look at how things might go this weekend. Over to you. What can we expect across the grades?
We have our 14 under B starting at 8 a.m. Between Birchip Watcham and St Arnaud, and I think with all games being a 1v2, they're all going to be wonderful games. We have 14A at 9 a.m. with Donald versus Birchip Watcham, 17A at 10, Birchip Watcham versus Nullarbor, C Reserve at 11, Nullarbor versus Sea Lake Nandali Tigers, C grade at 12:30, Nullarbor versus Port, B grade at 1:50, Wedderburn versus Birchip Watcham, and A grade at 3:15, Wedderburn versus Port. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful day of netball from 8 till 3:15 and beyond. I think it's going to be really great, and if the weather's going to be rowish, it's perfect timing because we're going to be in the stadium, so that's good timing.
Fantastic. All right, well, before we let you go, Kylie, why don't you just bring us in on the awards season, which of course took place on the weekend across the association?
Yeah. So North Central Netball Association held our vote count and presentation day at Charlton Park Community Complex last Sunday, and it was really nail-biting afternoon through the vote count with the grades, and that really solidified how close and exciting our season's been throughout the whole competition by looking at all the votes. But a perfect example of this, Alice, was our A grade, for instance, and congratulations to our 2024 A grade best and fairest. It actually ended up at a draw on 22 votes between Birchip Watson, Jenna Angel and Nullawul's Meg Hogan, and Meg ironically won it as runners-up last year on the same amount of votes. So this year she got the one step better, and our runners-up was with a minimal gap of 21 votes was Port's Carlos Isaac, and even third place was a draw on 20 votes. So it just shows our A grade that we've had many A grades at peak form this season, which reflects our season that we've had. B grade, we had our best and fairest was Wedderburn's Olivia Lockhart on 27 votes, and fellow teammate Paige Stevenson runners-up on 17 votes. C grade best and fairest was Regan Kelly from Nullawul on 35 votes, and she was runners-up last year for C grade, so congratulations for the one step up. And we had joint runners-up Birchip Watson, Samantha Mitchell and Annie Perriman from Port on 18 votes. C reserve was Nullawul Shelley Coles on 17 votes, and runners-up Bronte Mitchell from Sea Lake Nandaly Tigers on 13 votes. 17 under A best and fairest was Whitcrews Libby Thompson on 35 votes. Runners-up was Nullawul's Gracie Humphreys on 29 votes. And with the blessing of an award that was renamed after 2021's recipient and the late Madison Fitzpatrick, we had the Madison Fitzpatrick Youth Incentive Award, and that was won by Sea Lake Nandaly Tigers' Dana McKenzie. And as I mentioned Sunday, and congratulations to all our nominees, it's terrific that our youth are being recognised for the volunteer efforts and contributions they give to our club at a young age. So it's wonderful for Dana to be the recipient of Maddie's award. And our final award was the Rising Star Award, which is shining a spotlight on our future stars and are highlighted by their clubs. And we're thrilled to have such local talent being exposed to higher level netball. And congratulations to our Rising Star recipient, Jenna Angel from Birchip Watson. And also recognising our volunteers, we inducted a new life member, North Central Netball Association, life member into the fold with 30 years of contribution to NCNA at many levels. Kim Fitzpatrick from Charlton was awarded our life membership, and it's just a testament to her unwavering dedication and exceptional contribution to North Central Netball Association over many years. So congratulations to Kim on that accolade, and it's been wonderful. So that was a wonderful celebration last Sunday, and hopefully we keep celebrating through the finals and on to the grand final.
I keep saying it, you'll be doing a radio show yourself one day, Kylie Walsh. Great to have you on the program, and really good to check in. We'll do it again next week. Enjoy the netball.
Thank you, Alice, and good luck to everyone in the semi-final this weekend.